we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing good. I'm good as always. That is it, man. Super Bowl is concluded. The Chiefs, they have their dynasty, and it's painful to watch as a Bills fan. But, I mean, kudos to them. Congrats to Chiefs fans everywhere. You got your dynasty. Patrick Mahomes is that dude. What are we talking today? Free agent period on Saquon Barkley. Will he go bye-bye? I got some best landing spot potential for Saquon. It's going to be a big topic of conversation for a lot of these running backs as we enter the free agent period. There's a lot of good ones, man. It's a very good class of free agent talent at the running back spot, and then teamed with the fact that, this NFL draft isn't necessarily loaded with running back top-end potential now that Trevion Henderson did go back into the draft. We got the scouting combine and free agency coming up very soon. So let's talk a little Saquon Barkley on the statistical achievement and what he's done thus far in his career. I mean, 26 years of age, in his 6 years of NFL experience, he still has not matched what he was able to do in his rookie season, man. 94% on the boom rate. I mean, he was just an absolute baller in his rookie season. Finished as a running back too, right behind Todd Gurley, if I'm not mistaken. 340 points, half PPR, and he was just absolutely electric, man. In that pass game, 91 receptions, 1,300 plus yards. He has not even come close to reaching these statistical achievement marks throughout the rest of his tenure with these New York Giants. He still was very good. I mean, 69%, 0% due to the injury, 38.5% injury, still creeped up that second year in 2021 post ACL recovery, and then 2022, 81%, and then this past year, 64% on the boom rate consistency, I should say. But it's not all dire for a Saquon, but I know a lot of people jumping off the wagon. They're saying, he isn't the same guy he was. Injuries have piled up, but he's done more than enough. I mean, 2022, he still came back with almost 300 carries for 13-12. Okay, he finished as the running back 6, 255 points. It's just he was not getting that top-end productivity in the pass game. 57 receptions, still very good in 2022. This past year, again, dealt with some injuries, some ankles, some, soft tissue issues. And will we see the New York Giants re-sign him? They have already gone on record to say, but again, it's lying season, so let's take it with a grain of salt that they're saying they will not franchise tag a Saquon this year, which likely means they will not give him the top-end deal that he's looking for, hence why they franchise tagged him this past year. Dealing with all those injuries, like I'm saying, does preclude them from giving him a long-term deal. He still is 4 years away from that dreaded age 30 where running backs do drop off a cliff. But maybe, other pastors with another team will promote Saquon to be that much better. And, I mean, these last 2 seasons have been better than the previous 2 back in 2021 and 2022, or 2020, with the ACL recovery. I mean, it's been good. Saquon is still one of my favorites, and I do like the talent, as always have. And I think that, potentially maybe going to another club will benefit Saquon in that respect anyway. But let's talk about this man's injury history, because it is quite daunting, okay? He's dealt with a lot of ankle issues. Back in 2019, had the grade 2 ankle sprain. 2021, he did have the ankle sprain as well. It was a grade 1 issue in that sense. And then this past year, he had a grade 2 ankle sprain once again. So, I mean, these have been the issues for Saquon staying on the field and, putting out that top-end statistical point productivity, especially for fantasy football. It has been a problem, man. He did have that neck stinger back in 2022 as well. The hamstring injury sprain back in 2018, and of course the dreaded knee injury on the ACL tear, MCL grade 2 sprain. So I mean, it was an issue so far how Saquon has been relatively not healthy throughout his 6 years in the NFL, and I understand why teams would be skittish upon this man to say, I'm going to give you top end dollars when you don't stay on the field when they require him. But when he is on the field, he did look slower this year too. We want to say almost like he did lose that top end burst speed and home run ability, but it is still there, and he still is a quality running back. But injuries are definitely something we got to take note of when we discuss a Saquon Barkley and what he is in this league, man. For the free agent market, like I'm saying, there is a plethora of talented running backs here. We got Saquon, we got King Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, and then to a lesser extent, Devin Singletary, J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon, Antonio Gibson, who could be fillers on teams as a running back too. But when you're talking the elite stature running backs, we got Barkley, Henry, Jacobs. I mean, okay, Eckler, you can still put him in that category. And then Tony Pollard is not necessarily the elite running back, but he does make elite plays and puts up a lot of statistics, right? So at this point, we're talking market value, $9.9 million for a Saquon Barkley is not bad per season. Could generate himself a 4-year contract in that upper $50 million range. We will see. It's, the way the NFL is going, they're not, trying to pay running backs as they used to, especially guys like King Henry, who could get, a smaller deal on the cheaper trend now that he is 30 years of age. Barkley finished as a running back 12, where King Henry was the running back 8. We do got Josh Jacobs on the board. He did lose some time to injury as well. They did sit him down as the season did go on, and his market value right now is the tops in the league right now on the free agent market for running backs at $10.6 million per year. This cap hit will definitely go down if he does sign a big deal, but all these guys, landing spots are definitely up in the air and in question on where they could potentially go. Henry maybe goes to a contender where Josh Jacobs, does he come back to these Las Vegas Raiders or does he go somewhere else? Tony Pollard, will he stick with the Cowboys? Austin Eckler might be out the door, knowing the fact that we've seen the Los Angeles Chargers say with new head coach Harbaugh that they do want to attack Saquon in the open market. So we'll see. DeAndre Swift, where's he going to go? Is he going to go back to Philly, or is he going to go somewhere else? So it's very interesting. And then with the lesser extended running backs with Singletary, Dobbins, Dillon, and Gibson, where do they go? Do they form a committee approach somewhere on one of these running back hungry teams, or do they go into the draft and not sign these guys on the open market? Very much interesting how it goes, but a lot of these stats did go down for these top-end running backs, where we got King Henry. He was the best, almost 1,200 yards, where we got Josh Jacobs, 800 yards, Tony Pollard, 1,000 yards, Eckler, 600 yards. Definitely a down year for Austin Eckler. DeAndre Swift was dealing with, issues as the season wore on, and Philadelphia decided to stop running the football, or otherwise he would have been over 1,000 yards. I mean, he was flirting with running back 15 numbers for the early part of the season. He finishes as running back 31. Definitely not good for his contract negotiation, but when it comes to Barkley, you got to believe he's going to be at least the top 2 player to be snagged off this board and paid handsomely. And I mean, will he return to the New York Giants? That is definitely the question we're talking about. I got 6 teams for you that could be a very good spot for him in this sense, and returning to the Giants is definitely still on the table. We've heard Saquon talk the right. He's always been, the good teammate and, promoting and saying he wants to stay in New York and retire as a New York Giant. Will that happen? We'll see. Giants do have good amount of cap space with $26 million. They got Danny Pennies, Daniel Jones, and does he want to really, be in an offense that might not have Daniel Jones for the early part of the season due to that ACL injury, and then continue with a Danny DeVito and others at the quarterback position, a rotating room of wide receivers? Does Saquon want to submit himself to that, or does he want to go to a club that does have a lot better weapons with a lot more consistency? But it's definitely not out of the question that if they do offer him a good deal, even if it's a 3-year deal worth what, $25-30 million, does he take that? We shall see. But I mean, the New York Giants definitely not out of the question. Only running backs they have right now in the room is Brightwell, Gray, and Corbin. It'd be shocking to see the Giants without a Saquon Barkley, but it's definitely on the table that he could potentially leave New York as they look for other talented running backs, which could also come in the form of the NFL draft. The Dallas Cowboys. Okay, hear me out on this one. While he may not jump to a division rival, and I got 2 division rivals on this list, this is a Jerry Jones move written all over it, trying to get himself a thoroughbred, workhorse running back that could take a lot of pressure off of Dak Prescott. That is what Jerry Jones loves. We've seen it with the Emmitt Smith days. We saw it with Zeke Elliott. Why not bring a young guy like a Saquon Barkley? 26 years, he is at the point where he could still, at least make this Cowboys team continue to challenge for playoffs and potential Super Bowls. Deuce Vaughn is the only running back left on the board. Where Tony Pollard, does he return? Do they want to pay a Tony Pollard where they didn't necessarily utilize the run with a Coach McCarthy? So that's kind of why I'm saying it's a long shot for the Cowboys to even go after a Saquon in the sense, because McCarthy does not necessarily run the football like a lot of people had envisioned he would have. Minus $14 million on the cap hit. I mean, it's not right now for cap space, I should say. Definitely not good for the Dallas Cowboys. They got a lot of maneuvering they're going to have to do to get under the cap. No kidding, man. Houston Texans, probably one of the most favorable situations with Dameon Pierce right now, the only running back on this roster where Devin Singletary is that free agent. $62 million of free money these Houston Texans do have, and they do look good. They're rising. They're ascending. They got a young guy like C.J. Stroud who is already challenging for playoffs and will only get better as they move forward. This team is definitely on the rise and should be on Saquon's wish list to be on. These Los Angeles Chargers in the rumor mill suggesting that they're looking for trade partners for a Bosa and a Khalil Mack, and they do need to get some of these dollars off the books, man. $44 million in the hole right now, and the only running back is an Isaiah Spiller, so there is a definite need for these Chargers to get another quality running back on this roster, but will it be the likes of Saquon? Will you be paying out big dollars for Saquon when you have no money? They're going to have to do a lot on this books, trade some players, release some talent to get under the cap. There is no question about that. Perhaps, restructuring deals. Maybe they do bring back Austin Eckler, but I really think that the divorce for Eckler and these Chargers is definitely here. So Isaiah Spiller, he could be the running back one this year. There is no question. But, I mean, $44 million in the hole makes it very difficult to go after a Saquon. But, I mean, with a running back needy, type of team where Harbaugh does like the, running backs, and they got Greg Roman as their OC, they definitely need a thoroughbred workhorse back in with the Chargers. So they're definitely on the list to at least, be in question in the rumor mill for this. The Baltimore Ravens, they've been dying for a true running back one to help Lamar Jackson, even though they keep going to the mill and they keep getting backs like a Keaton Mitchell, Justice Hill, Gus the Bus, Edwards. I mean, there is talent that they can utilize, but the system is so good in the running attack that it doesn't matter basically who they put on this team. I think they're done with the J.K. Dobbins experiment. Injuries just have, foiled the man's career thus far, and I don't foresee them paying dollars to J.K. outside of a 1 year, $4 million deal to potentially come back. But I think the Ravens are a great spot for a guy like Saquon, where he would get a lot of touches, a lot of usage, and it would be very much run heavy. Minus $2.07 million for the Ravens, so it's not hard to get out of this mess that they do have of $2 million of no cap space, and they will restructure deals in that same sense. The Philadelphia Eagles, another division rival of the Giants, they got almost $12 million in free space right now, and will they re-sign DeAndre Swift? I think that's probably the mode they do go, but if they do want to make a big splash getting Saquon Barkley to team up with a Jalen Hurts, and they got to continue to start running the football once again. Don't understand why they went away from that as the season did wear on, but Philadelphia is definitely on the radar. I don't foresee it more than anything for Philadelphia and Dallas, but I do think that he does go to another club this year unless those Giants do give him a long-term contract that he is looking for. But I'm going to be talking about these Houston Texans because it makes too much sense for Saquon not to go here, man. There was issues in Houston when it comes to the running game. While Devin Singletary was a very, good upgrade at the running back position, even though, Dameon Pierce did have a good rookie season, Singletary was exactly what they wanted out of the running back room for Houston, but it just didn't translate statistically like they had hoped for. You had a guy like C.J. Stroud mask a lot of the inadequacy in this run attack, man. Nothing in the top 20 when it comes to rushing statistics this past year with Devin Singletary and a Dameon Pierce, man. 21st in attempts, 22nd in yards, 28th in average, 24th in TDs, explosive plays, 31st, 29th in 20-plus and 40-plus runs. Not good. You need this to go up big time. You need some more explosive running ability to pull some coverage and help C.J. Stroud that much more. First downs, bottom of the league. First down percentage, bottom of the league. You see where I'm going with this, and that's why I'm saying even though Devin, with the eye test, did play very well in this offense, 216 carries, almost 1,000 yards, 4.2 on the average, very good. Every time you were asking Devin Singletary to get you those chunk yards, he was getting them for you. You ask him to convert a first down for you, he was doing that for you, man. 152 points as the running back, 31 was Devin Singletary. There is room to upgrade in this offense with a Saquon Barkley, and if you imagine what this team would look like with a Saquon, Tank Dell coming back from the injury, he should be good to go. C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, I was not giving him near enough praise until this past year. He is a true guy, wide receiver one that, this team can absolutely lean upon and utilize Tank Dell over the middle. It's going to be a very good offense moving forward. Dameon Pierce obviously going to continue to be the backup, in this running back room unless they don't add a running back and they go back to Dameon Pierce. But Saquon fitting in here would make this offense that much more dynamic, that much more impressive and explosive. You still got Bobby Trees, Robert Woods. He may be a cap casualty, but they got money to spend, so they might keep him around. John Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson. I'm a big fan of both these gentlemen. They just need time to grow. Mechie coming off the cancer, and then, Hutchinson just not getting enough sprinkles in the target share to be relevant, where Noah Brown is a free agent and Dalton Schultz also a free agent. We'll see if they do bring him back. Dalton Schultz, I'm saying, because he was that good. Noah Brown, I could see them saying, we're going to move on from you. But with Saquon on this offense, it would be something to be feared in the AFC, and everybody knows they got to compete with these Kansas City Chiefs every single year. So adding weapons to this offense only makes that much more sense. You have a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal with not much money to spend. Use that to get yourself a thoroughbred, true superstar running back one to make this offense that much better. I do like the potential talents of a Saquon in Houston quite a bit. That is going to be my hopeful landing spot for him. But we'll see how this free agent market does pan out. And we do got the NFL Combine coming up really soon. I'm going to have a lot of scouting reports for y'all as well. It is very good. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Where y'all think Saquon's going to go? Is he going to return to New York? Is he going somewhere else? Drop them in the comments. Let's have a conversation. But we'll see you next time. I am out.